Okay, and first of all, Michalis, thank you very much for inviting me and DNV back to Capital Link. It's always a pleasure to attend this event here in Tokyo, and it's always good to be part of this very, very important discussions going on for our industry. Also, good morning very much to all the ladies and gentlemen around here. My name is Stian. I'm the country manager for DNV here in Japan, and it's a real privilege for me to open today's panel on growth opportunities for Japanese shipbuilding. I think we meet at a very, very interesting and important point in time. The industry in Japan has been facing many challenges for the recent years, but recent geopolitical developments has been putting shipbuilding in a very interesting and possibly challenging spotlight. Over the past year, Japan's share of global shipbuilding has declined sharply. And while China and South Korea, maybe especially China, has surged ahead in volume, Japan's market share has dropped to around 10%. Many yards here in Japan have struggled under price competition, aging workforce, recruitment challenges, and also international owners' market share here in Japan has dropped significantly the last 15 years. But a recent shift in government in interest from government stakeholders might definitely change this. The governing LDP party, now with a new female prime minister, congratulations to Japan on electing a new female prime minister, Takaichi-san, have proposed a $7 billion revitalization fund to modernize shipyards, to invest in digital design, human resource development, decarbonization development, and to build a next generation infrastructure. And this is done with the aim to recapture the global market share. I also heard that Takaichi-san in her inauguration speech mentioned shipbuilding as one of the strategic areas to support, together with semiconductors, AI, and other importance. So that, I think, highlights the importance and the focus from the government on this. At the same time, we have Imabari Shipbuilding's acquisition of a majority stake in JMU's, created a quite sizable giant on the world stage. And also we have our representatives here in the panel from TSUNEISHI and from Fukuoka, which has also been increasing their capacity, both in terms of construction capacity, but also in terms of engineering capacity. And I'm quite sure we will hear much more about that very soon. But together, these moves signal a determination to compete globally and definitely not retreat. Japan retains core strengths that definitely remain highly relevant in today's markets. Shipyards in Japan are known worldwide for quality, reliability, fuel efficiency, and on-time delivery. And in an age where ship owners definitely demand quality, safety, life cycle efficiency, and, very importantly, trust, these are competitive advantages that really, really matter. The industry is also aligning with future needs. Japanese shipyards has developing designs that cut fuel consumptions and hence emissions significantly. And there's also definitely opportunities in specialized high-value segments, alternative fuel vessels. Japan Engine Corporation has just developed their first full-scale ammonia fuel engine. And not at least, there is a very strong aspiration here in Japan to become dominant within autonomous technologies, which we also just heard about in the previous panel. And these are areas where Japan definitely can differentiate, differentiate by offering value and not only volume. At the same time, we need to be realistic. Japanese builders cannot compete on sheer scale or lowest price. Korean and Chinese counterparts are quite formidable in that respect. But the future of shipbuilding is not only about capacity, but it's also about innovation, it's about sustainability, it's about financing, which we are discussing very much here today, and, very important, trust. By focusing on these areas, Japan may carve up a resilient competitive position on the world stage. And this brings me also to why today's panel is so important. Around this table, we have international ship owners, we have Japanese shipyards, and we also have a Japanese ship owner. Collaboration between builders and owners is a key to success and to a more attractive position. The global competition is definitely intense, but with stronger interest from the government, industry consolidation, and geopolitical, very interesting geopolitical movements, there might be a realistic chance for Japan to regain its former position. And I think today's panel is definitely about exploring those opportunities. What are the strengths to build on, and what are the possible, if any, weaknesses to be addressed? And with today's esteemed panelists, I'm quite sure that we will reach one step further. So let me just start by quickly introducing the panel here. We have Tanaka-san, chairman of Fukuoka Shipbuilding, in the middle. We have Mr. Livanos, CFO for DryDel Shipping, on his right side. We have Mr. Theodore Young, close to me here, from Dorian LPG, CFO of Dorian LPG. We have Shibata-san on the way on the left corner. He is president of TSUNEISHI Solutions TOKYOBAY. And finally, we have Miyoshi-san, manager, environmental technical strategy team from K-Line, next to him. A very, very good panel, I think, to kick off this discussion. And we'll kick off the panel discussion by letting the panelists introduce themselves and also represent what kind of position and relation they have in the maritime industry in Japan. And since Mr. Livanos has the position of standing next to, no, Mr. Young has the position of sitting next to me, I think we'll kick off from the right side and move along the way here. Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stian. And thank you all for coming today, and to Capital Link and Fernley's for putting together a nice conference. Dorian LPG currently has a fleet of 21 known vessels. Our most recent acquisition was from here in Japan, Kawasaki, a VLGC that we took delivery of in 2023. But if you go back on our history, the Hajibateras family's built a number of tankers here in Japan over the years. And, I think the other piece that we've benefited from here in Japan has been the access to finance. Historically, we've done 12 transactions with Japanese ship owners, the classic Shintoku structure, working with Japanese mega banks, also regional banks. As we sit here today, it's been an interesting development for me as CFO to see the growth in the potential for direct lending from many of the Japanese institutions represented here today to overseas owners, which has not always been the case. So Japan is very near and dear to our heart. It's the third largest LPG import market in the world. It used to be the largest, so there's a tremendous amount of technical knowledge here, market knowledge, and also our strategic partner in our pool, the Helios pool, is none other than MOL, one of the most famous Japanese shipping companies, and so we're very Japan's a place we spend a lot of time and believe very much in, and are supportive of the efforts of the government to let's say revitalize Japanese shipbuilding, because it is such a wonderful tradition with a lot of great capability. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And move over to Mr. Livanos.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. It's thank you, Capital Link, for hosting this event. I'm Michael Livanos, the CFO of DryDel Shipping. We are traditional ship owners, but at the same time, we are operators. We are owning 12 ships, all dry bulk, and all made in Japan. At the same time, we have quite a large order book, all within Japan. Another 11 ships undergoing construction for our group. On the operating side, we are controlling long-term more 23 dry bulk vessels. Again, all of them Japanese, mainly Japanese owners. So, as Mr. De La Portas will say, this is a second home to us. We are very much in favor of the Japanese built vessels. We're happy with the performance, the quality. We keep growing the relationship since 2010 when we took delivery the first ship from a Japanese builder. So actually, for us, it is more seeing the future of Japanese shipbuilding being growing rather than shrinking. So we have vested interest as we have built a strong relationship through this time. We are very pleased having party and counterparties in Japan, and we believe that going forward we'll do more. As Mr. Theodore said, apart the fact that we have relationship with the builders, we are having strong relationship with banks and other lending institutions within Japan as we finance much of our fleet through Japanese leases and Japanese banks. So we are very pleased being here and very pleased doing business with Japan. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Livanos, Mr. Livanos. Tanaka-san from Fukuoka Shipbuilding.
はい、申し訳ない、日本語でちょっと喋らせてもらいたいと思います。福岡造船の田中です。私ども、福岡造船は1947年、創業でして、今、福岡と長崎、それと臼杵造船、さらに、福岡渡辺造船という、この福岡渡辺造船というのはもう国内の、漁船を作っているので、今日の会話にはふさわしくないと思いますので、これは、やめときまして、長崎工場、ここでは、2万5,000トンから3万5,000トンクラスのステンレスケミカルタンカー、この過去20年において50隻ほど建造しました。また、福岡工場においては2万トンクラス、同じく臼杵造船所においても2万トンクラスを、それぞれ100隻前後、建造してまいっております。トピックスとしては、去年から今年にかけて長崎において2万5,000トンのLNG のデュアルフュエル船を4隻引き渡ししたということだと思います。ケミカルを私族に作りながらもですね、セメント船であるとかフェリーボートであるとかいうようなちょっとマーケットが非常に小さいところの船を狙って今建造しているというところです。以上です。
Thank you very much, Tanaka-san. And then we go over to Miyoshi-san from K-Line.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, thank you very much for the invitation. My name is Miyoshi. I'm the manager of the environment technical strategy groups in K-Line. K-Line is a shipping company, and we own and operate several kinds of the vessels, such as the bulk carrier, the tanker, the car carrier, and gas carrier as well. So we operate around 400 vessels in total. And actually, I'm working for the K-Line more than 20 years, and mostly involved in the technical division. So especially for the new shipbuilding. So I'm working closely with Japanese shipyard. So I'm very happy to join this session and discuss on the future Japanese shipyards. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Miyoshi-san. And then Shibata-san from TSUNEISHI TOKYOBAY Solutions.
私も日本語でちょっと失礼させていただきます。本日は皆様ありがとうございます。私はTSUNEISHIソリューションズ東京ベイの柴田と申します。 当社はですね、今年の6月に常石造船という会社の子会社として、もともと三井 E&S 造船という社名でしたけれども、そちらの方から社名変更して今の会社となっております。造船工場は持たないですね。エンジニアリング会社となります。日本では、意外と珍しい会社なのかなというふうに思っております。主な事業としては、開発設計のエンジニアリング、それから、代替燃料関係の、エンジニアリング、こちらの方も、強みとしております。それから少し変わってですね、ダイナミックポジショニングシステムのような、ちょっと技術力のいる操船装置とかですね、船内のモニタリング装置、こういった装置事業も扱っております。お客様はですね、常石グループということで、常石さん向けの仕事もやるんですけれども、それ以外のですね、国内外の船主さん、造船所、あとメーカーさん等々、多様なお客様の課題解決に取り組んでいるような状況です。海外も多いんですけれども、日本のお客様を中心に支援させていただく機会が多いです。ちなみに親会社の常石造船に関してはですね、広島に本社がありまして、製造拠点、フィリピンと、あと中国、あと国内にももちろん持っているんですけれども、新造船事業と、あと修繕事業に力を入れております。建造船は中型のですね、バルクキャリア、カムサマックスでありますとか、あとタンカー、アフラマックス、それからコンテナ各種ですね、こういったものを扱っております。はい、以上です。
Thank you very much, Shibata-san. And I think I'll let you keep the spot for a small while. If you touched upon this in your introduction, but if you could start off by highlighting what do you think are the strengths or the strongest aspects of Japanese shipbuilding today, and what are the possible weakest things that you still need to address from a shipbuilding perspective? And Shibata-san, if you can continue your...
はい、そうですね、日本造船業の強みですね。主に中国造船との比較になるのかもしれませんけれども、日本造船業の強みというのはやはり船の環境性能、それから品質の高さ、そういったものが挙げられるのかと思います。日本製のブランド力というものが、存在するのかなというふうには考えております。親会社である常石造船、先ほど説明した通りですね、フィリピンと中国に製造拠点を持っていると、説明させていただきましたけれども、こちらの方は日本の設計とかですね、製造の考え方、プロセスをそのまま海外へ移管しているような状況で、お客さんからですね、日本のブランド相応の評価をいただいているということで、そういった日本製ブランドの力っていうものが、実感として感じているような状況です。で、それ以外もですね、新しい環境規制に対する技術力みたいな対応力ですね、こういったものも強みとして挙げられると思います。しかしながらですね、なんですかね、中国建造といってもですね、昔と比べて実績もどんどん積み上がってますし、環境性能とか品質っていうのもすごい上がってきてますので、今後、日本がですね、そういった意味での優位性を維持できるかっていうところでいくと、確実にそういうものではないのかなというふうには思っております。一方で弱いところですね、これは冒頭説明ありましたけども、やっぱコストの競争力とかですね、あとスピード感といいますか、行動スピード、こちらの方が弱みといいますか、相対的に弱いのかなというふうには思います。中国の造船所は設備投資とか新しい技術の導入、こういったものを何をするにしてもかなり短いリードタイムでされているような印象がありまして、今後日本造船業人手不足が 懸念されてますけれども、こういった限られたマンパワーでいかに、スピード感を持って、例えば新しい環境規制に対応していくかって、こういったものが今後課題として挙げられるのかなというふうに考えます。以上です。
Good. Thank you very much, Shibata-san, for a comprehensive response. We move, maybe we can hear from Miyoshi-san as a Japanese ship owner. K-Line, as one of the major ship owners in Japan, as a very loyal kind of customer of the Japanese shipyards. What are the kind of the strongest aspects that make you kind of continuously order vessels primarily in Japan, and what would you also still like to see kind of improve or be addressed?
Yeah, as Shibata-san said, that I think that Japanese shipyards has strengths like the high quality workmanship and also the relationship. And also on top of that, I think that good relationship with ship owner, not only the Japanese ship owner, but also the other foreign countries owners. And also they have the good relationship with marine equipment manufacturers as well. So that is a strong point for the Japanese shipyard. And on the other hand, the challenges remains in the cost competitiveness and delivery lead time, comparing with Korean and Chinese shipyard, as Shibata-san said. And also the labor shortage and also the aging infrastructure potential risks, I think. And also the digitalization is also the one of the challenge for the Japanese shipyard, I think.
Thank you very much, Miyoshi-san. Tanaka-san, from Fukuoka shipbuilding perspective.
はい。日本の強みというのはやはり、隣にいらっしゃるKラインさんみたいな大手のオペさんがいらっしゃる。加えて今治地区のようにたくさんの船主さんがいらっしゃる。またファイナンサーも、日本の銀行で賄える。造船所もおり、また機器メーカーですね、舶用機器メーカーが、日本で全て調達できるというような、いわゆる海事クラスターというのが日本にあるというのが一つの一番の強みじゃないかなと今のところ思ってます。それと我々造船所としてはやはり、契約書にスペックにのっとり、いかに忠実に作るかということで、決められた納期であるとか決められた品質であるとかいうことには、かなり神経を使って努力してまいりました。結果としてですね、我々としていつも見てるのが中古船マーケットなんですね。で特に我々はケミカルタンカー作ってますんで、ケミカルタンカーの7年船での、日本的の船の優位性っていうのはまだ多少あるんじゃなかろうかと、値段の面でですね。でそういうところもやはり注視しながら、今後の建造にも当たっていく、それが日本の一つの生きる道じゃないかなと思います。日本の造船所の弱い点というのはちょっと言いづらいですけども、私のように年取った人間が多くなってきているということ、それから、デジタル化が、中国等に比べて、まだかなり遅れているというようなところだと思います。
Thank you very much, Tanaka-san, for your insights. And then we move to the more international perspective from Livanos-san. What makes you come to, you mentioned in your introduction, but maybe you can highlight a little bit more specific. What are the strengths and what are the weaknesses, possible weaknesses that you see?
For us, I'll start with the strengths. I will agree with the rest of the panelists on what they have said. For us, the strongest point is efficiency and design. And we understand that Japanese shipbuilders are building ships for many, many years. And we know well that they have longer history in building ships than their competitors. So we think that they have quite large database, and they're able to produce good design by improving, continuously improving, which is something that we have learned in the business school, their product year after year. So this, I believe, this we believe is the key strength for them, but at the same time, this could be also the weakest point. The problem is we as international owners, we buy same handy vessels, but we see several different designs. 40,000 tonners different from A yard in Japan, different from B yard in Japan, different from C yard in Japan. And I'm talking about different designs from Oshima, for example, TSUNEISHI, and Imabari, and all that. On the weakest points now, we'll say that there is limited production in comparison to the competition, and GIT is just in time is the strength of the Japanese. When the Japanese, they will tell you, we'll build the ship in third quarter of this year, you take delivery third quarter of this year. That's very important for an owner to know and manage its business. So these are the strengths and weaknesses of the Japanese shipbuilding for us as international owners.
Thank you very much, Mr. Livanos. Do you have anything to add, Mr. Young?
I think it was pretty well covered. I think I'm probably the least engineering-minded person among my colleagues up here, so sometimes in simplicity there is some elegance. And so what was fascinating to me, and I agree with virtually all the observations that were made, I think the disadvantages Japan faces are real. We discussed cost, but also until recently, the strength of the yen has been an issue. But I think Japanese shipbuilding has actually done a really good job of, as a former wrestler, we would say, fighting off your back to not get pinned. And what they've done a great job of is replacing technology wherever they can with people. And so when I compare the production processes at the Korean shipyards, when we built at Hyundai Ulsan, Hyundai Makpo, and DSME, now Hanwha Ocean, and I compare it to what we saw at Kawasaki, and again, it's another strength of the Japanese economy is the history of strong machine tools. The advanced laser cutting that I saw in Japan really was more impressive than what I saw in Korea. Significantly less labor because the Japanese, obviously acknowledged their disadvantage in labor costs. And so by focusing on higher tech, more value-add specialized vessels, and where they have a competitive advantage, they have managed to carve out a niche. But I think more help is needed because shipbuilding at the end of the day is a scale business. And I think the statistics, I think you touched on them, but I think Japan was responsible for something like 7% of world deliveries last year, and I think Korea was 20% or so. That's a lot. That's a huge disadvantage. You look at productive capacity, I think you touched on it too. Japan does need to increase its shipbuilding production capacity to remain competitive with Korea. China's a different ballgame. I think the various panelists discussed that. I'm not sure that that's who Japan ought to be competing with. I think competing with Korea makes a ton of sense. China has a lot of built-in advantages, let's say, that are impossible to replicate in more traditional market economies. So I think leveraging the existing strengths and getting some help from the government could put Japanese shipbuilding back on its feet.
Very good. Thank you very much, Mr. Young. And I think we'll stay in this international corner here and just bridge it over to the next question. You kind of already touched upon it in your responses, but when you decide between Japan, China, Korea for new building, what's your kind of decisive factors that make you choose Japan? Should I go? Yeah, please.
I think, like any shipbuilder, price, that matters. Delivery slot matters. Quality matters, and I think, at least in the very large gas carrier sector, we felt extremely comfortable with the quality between Japan and Korea. We haven't built in China yet, so it hasn't really been part of our discussion, but those are the big ones. I think, where we see a difference between Japan and Korea in our sector, and I think Tanaka-san touched on it, as well as Shibata-san. I think they described it as agility, and I suppose that's right. I think we find the ability to request modifications to a spec to be extremely difficult here in Japan compared to Korea. So that's one area that we have to take into account when we're deciding between the two. So we really work hard to make sure we're as satisfied as possible with the spec once we agree to contract here in Japan. But again, I'd say price, delivery slot, and a bit of agility, flexibility if we're uncertain about technological developments. And again, technology matters a lot, but that's never been a disadvantage for Japan. So clearly in Japan's favor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Livanos.
I'll go with, I will agree with what Theodore has just said. For us important is the fuel efficiency and what the charterers are asking from us and our ships. So we have seen a tendency that they like the Japanese ships. So this is important for us to bring them good quality tonnage. And that's why trust with the builders and long-standing relationship with Japanese shipyards is important for us. And we have heavily invested in doing so over the past 15 years. So the last but not least is the second-hand value. I mean, having a Japanese ship, we have seen that you can sell it easily at any market. So this is something that we well know. We have recently made some good sales that have been reported, and for us, selling easily a ship is very, very key to our strategy and how we plan to grow the company. And the last one is delivery, which is important, just to know that we plan accordingly with our schedule. So I'll focus on these factors.
Thank you very much, Mr. Livanos. Moving to the Japanese side again, and kind of the increased interest from the government stakeholders and the statements from your new prime minister, etc. The proposed revitalization fund, of course, that's a lot of money, and it could make an impact. What's your view on the government, the kind of new interest from the government, and what do you think the impact of this will be? Maybe start with Mr. Tanaka-san.
はい、今アメリカからの要請もあり、非常に造船にとってフォローな風が吹いているというように感じています。私今別というか中型小型造船工業会の会長もしてまして、要は団体の長として、日本の国交省海事局と話す機会があるんですけども、実際に今言われたように、1兆円の基金を積もうという動きがあります。でまだ具体的にはですね、総理も変わったばっかで、何も進んでないのが現状なんですけども、今後早期にですね、その基金を積んで我々もいろんな意味の支援を模索しているということです。今まで日本の政府から何の支援も得られてない我が国の造船でありますけれども、今回だけはですね、デジタル化中心に今後そういったのが具体化、かなり極めて早いピッチでの具体化が見えてくるのではないかなというように期待しています。今言えるのはそこまでですね。はい。
Okay, Miyoshi-san, from the ship owner's perspective, what's your view?
Yeah, I think the government support is always a welcome initiative for the marine industry. So, but the important point is how to implement efficiency effectively. So I think that collaboration of the marine industry is essential. So if the implemented effectively, it could moderate the facilities and support digital transformation, and also the attract younger talent in the marine industry. So it's a good chance to reposition the Japanese marine industry as a leader in the next generation shipyards.
Thank you very much, Miyoshi-san. Shibata-san, anything to add from your side?
はい。そうですね。政府による造船業への大きな支援ということで、まだおっしゃった通りですね、具体的な内容はこれからだと思いますけれども、支援される側、我々の民間企業としてもですね、かなり努力が必要になるのだろうなというふうに、考えております。ただ見る視点がですね、やっぱり一企業だけではなくて、海事産業全体として何をしていくのかみたいな、発想になってくるので、またあと協力体制もやっぱり必要になってきますけれども、そういった、有効な施策を打つことで、なんか一つの企業では、できないことのような大きな変革が、できるのではないかなというふうに、そういった足がかりになるのかなというふうに、信じております。支援によってですね、なんか一時的な再生ではなくて、やっぱりこの持続可能性っていうのがやっぱり重要なのかなというふうに思っているので、そういった競争力を身につけるようなことにですね、有効にお金を使っていきたいみたいなところが、重要なのかなというふうに思います。はい、ありがとうございます。
Thank you very much, Shibata-san. And if I might add for myself, I think the maritime industry in Japan is so important for energy security, for national security, for export, for import, for fisheries. So I think from my point of view, I really hope that this increased government attention is something that also spill over to the general population, so that you can kind of build or improve the brand of the maritime industry to deal with the recruitment challenges, to deal with the workforce, because it's so essential for Japan as an island to have an active and important maritime industry. So hopefully this kind of signal from the government is not only a monetary signal, but it's also a signal to the general population as well. Just my personal views here. But if you look now towards, let's say, 10 years ahead in time, what should the industry in Japan look like for it to be kind of a success story for this revitalization fund and from the increased government interest? What should the industry in Japan have as a goal? We have just a few minutes left, so just if you can come with some short statements each here. We can start again with Shibata-san, if you may. はい、
こちらそうですね、日本政府とかからですね、新造船建造量倍増みたい、としてですね、2035年に世界シェア 20% 相当を目指す、という目標値が、示されていますので、一つの成功の指針になるのかなというふうに考えています。ただかなり難しい話なのかなというふうには思いますが、あれですね、環境対応船が今後重要になってくると思うんですけれども、そういったところでいかに優位な立場でいられるか、それから自律運航船とか、デジタルですね、こういったところの面で、いかに技術的な優位を立ってられるかっていうところが、また一つのポイントなのかなというふうに考えています。以上です。
Thank you. Miyoshi, short statement from you. What is a success for Japanese shipbuilding in 10 years' time?
I think that I hope and I believe that becoming the technical leader for the green fuel, not only the utilization, but also the transportation for the clean energy. As Stian said, that Japan has a issue for the energy security. So, and also the most important point is involving the next generation. So, I think that.
Thank you very much. Tanaka-san.
はい、造船所の立場としてはですね、やっぱりロボット化、自動化、これが今後どこまで、この造船の現場の中に入ってこれるかというのが一つのポイントになってくるだろうと思います。まあそれと、設計から始まったすべての、DX 化が今後どういったようなスピード感で、入ってくるかによって変わってくるんじゃないかと思っています。
Thank you. Mr. Livanos, what would you like to see?
We would like to see Japanese builder to be successful, and we believe that through good engineering, in conjunction with new technologies and AI, we sooner rather later will see 10 tons at eco speeds, which helps a lot decarbonization, because we are talking about, now we are at the levels of 35% better in consumption, the new ships, the Tier 3 engines, through new engines and new designs. I believe that our Japanese friends can improve further on that, and we'll see sooner conventional ships being very, very friendly to the environment.
Very good. And then, Mr. Young, you get the final word in today's panel discussion.
Well, it was all covered very well by my colleagues. I think I just summarized it as I was sitting here, and the Germans did it well back in the 50s, Vorsprung durch Technik, which is basically advancement through technology. And Japan's got a lot of built-in strengths, and I think continuing to leverage those means that in 10 years you could have quite easily the world's most technologically advanced shipbuilding industry producing some of the world's most technologically advanced ships, and that will be hard for the rest of the world to compete with. So the future of Japanese shipbuilding with the right support is bright.
Very good. Then thank you very much to the panelists. Thank you for your time and for your efforts to come here and contribute your views. Very much appreciated. Let's give them a applause. And thank you very much, Nicholas and Capital Link.